What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So I'm actually filming this after I edited the mock draft, so I'm still sick. I'm drinking some to stay well, but you're here. You're here because you want to know what the top receivers for the 2020 NFL draft look like. We're doing the rankings. And I'll have on the community tab, it should already be up, you get to vote on what we do next week as far as our rankings. But on average, 32 receivers have been drafted over the course of the last 5 years. That's, like I said, the average. So we're doing a top 40. So we're gonna try to roll through this one because there's a lot of receivers we gotta cover. And go ahead and become a bro and subscribe, and leave a thumbs up. Helps the channel get discovered, which means I can devote more time to content like this. Speaking of content coming up, I got a draft class grades coming out for last season for the for NFL teams, and then I'm gonna do free agents as soon as my folks leave. They leave on the 7th because I got family in town. So having you know how it is when family's in town. But I'm gonna have top free agents coming out to you as well. The off-season process is gonna be a lot of fun. But let's go ahead, let's get started. But there's 6 names I want to mention real quick that are on this list, and I'm gonna give you reasons why. I got Omar Bayless from Arkansas State. The guy, he's got a small route tree. He put up huge numbers. I mean, essentially, he's a one-year wonder at this point, but he doesn't have a huge route tree. A lot of times he's asked to run those deep routes. So I got questions about him. Tariq Black from Michigan. Injury concern. He's been inconsistent his whole career there at Michigan. Kendrick Rogers from Texas A&M. Ton of talent, this guy. But again, he never quite lived up to it. Another guy with tons of injury concerns. Marquez Callaway from Tennessee was the less impressive receiver there at Tennessee, as you'll see on this list. And then Rico Bussey Jr. from North Texas. The guy got hurt. Could have been a early day 3 prospect in the 2019 draft. Now probably will be undrafted. And then Tyler Vaughns from USC. The guy struggles a ton versus press coverage. Doesn't really get ton of separation. Just some questions I have about him. Another guy that didn't look impressive is actually the other 2 receivers there at USC. But let's start going down this list. I got Jeff Thomas from Miami. The guy is kind of like Philip Dorsett. I don't know why he's coming out early. I honestly can't see him getting drafted. If he does, it'd be late 7th. But he's been drawing a lot of comparisons to Philip Dorsett. Then Jaywan Johnson from Oregon, great size dude, 6'3", 221. He lacks a bit of experience. He was kind of buried on that depth chart there at Oregon. And this year is kind of where he's finally had a full, start and role there. Van Jefferson, actually a guy I really like. He's going to be in the Senior Bowl. This guy's going to be a big special teamer. He's got a ton of experience on special teams, but he provides a lot more than that. And like I said, we'll get to see him at the Senior Bowl. Benjamin Victor at Ohio State. Well, probably a guy you're not quite familiar with. He's a guy that's also been buried over the course of his career behind guys like Terry McLaurin, Paris Campbell, just this year, KJ Hill. But he put up a quality season, 573 yards, 6 touchdowns. So he's a guy that I look forward to seeing go through this offseason process. Tristan Jackson from Syracuse is a bit of a question mark for me because I don't know why he declared. He had a really good year there at Syracuse, 66 catches, over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. But when you're given your projection, like they'll tell you, hey, you project as a first round or a second round, or they'll tell you stay in school, come out next year. I'm assuming he got that. I don't know why he's coming out, so it's kind of a red flag for me. Maybe there's some underlying reason there, but we'll see. Josh Pearson, a guy from Jacksonville State, that small school, but he's got great size, 6'3", 205, and he's been a monster over the course of 2 seasons. He has over 2,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. So a guy I look forward to seeing. I don't know if he'll go to a combine, but I just look forward to seeing him. I got James Prochet at SMU. He's been stellar there. Quintez, I believe it's Cephas? I'm not positive. It's a very, very interesting last name. But he missed all of 2018, right? Because he had, I think, 2 sexual assault allegations against him. They ended up being false. He was guilt-free, but the guy runs a complete route treat there at Wisconsin. They don't really, utilize the pass a ton there. So, there's that. Kalijah Lipscomb. This is he kind of reminds me a ton of Paris Campbell. I thought Paris Campbell was just a gadget receiver last year. I kind of think the same thing from Lipscomb here. I think he's a value brand, Paris Campbell. I just think he has a little less athleticism than Campbell did. So I see him in that 7th round to undrafted free agent range. And then Aaron Parker out of Rhode Island. This guy has posted some absurd numbers there at Rhode Island. He's okay, so the guy's just been phenomenal. Pro Football Network, they actually, because I take a look at what other people have to say, because opinions, man, I might be wrong. So they actually compare his size and ability, physical ability, to Devontae Parker. So that's because I haven't seen too much on this guy. I've seen a few highlights, but he'll be playing in that East-West Shrine game. So I look forward to seeing him in that. So let's go to the next part of the list. We're going to start with Chase Claypool. I think he's more actually, I said this in a previous, I think it was probably actually my 7th round mock draft. I said he was going to be more of a pass catching tight end. He just honestly just needs to put on maybe like 10-15 pounds. He's in that 230 range. He's one of those bigger receivers. And then Courtney Davis out of Texas A&M. This guy, he became a consistent target for Mond, especially when Rodgers, again, he never really lived up to his ability. He was injured a lot of the time, but along with this, Davis, he does have injury concerns. He has injuries to the ACL and to the back, so those are a bit alarming. Just a few red flags to consider. Justin Hill, man, this is a guy that I saw a little bit after this past year's draft. Guys to watch out for at Mount Union. His numbers are even way more absurd than Parker's were. I mean, just looking at this, his numbers: 80 catches for over 1,600 yards, 23 touchdowns. He has over 61 touchdowns over his career. That's ridiculous. I can't wait to see this guy in the offseason program. Donovan Peoples-Jones, I don't think he should declare. There's a lot of things to like about him. He's got good size, but I think he needs refinement in some areas like catching and such. So I really hope he decides to stay for another year. Isaiah Hodgins, one of my favorites. Before and during the season, I've talked a lot about Isaiah Hodgins. I love him. This year we saw a more array of routes he ran. He's not that explosive, but he's got a huge catch radius. He's good at tracking the football. So I like him. Nico Collins, this guy, he was the best receiver for Michigan this season. In my opinion, I think he outplayed both Black and DPJ. So I got him up here, as well as KJ Hill. I think I think he's only a slot in this draft. I think a majority of his routes are underneath. He doesn't really do much else. So I got a ton more questions. We'll get to see him. I believe he will be in the Senior Bowl. Like, this Senior Bowl is ridiculous on the receiver side. So I can't wait. I can't wait. Denzel Mims coming here at 23 out of Baylor. He's a burner. And guess what? He's at the Senior Bowl too. The guy's going to be a monster. Colin Johnson, another guy that's going to be at the Senior Bowl. He has great size, 6'6", 220. He needs to be more consistent at contested catches because he doesn't get great separation. If you're not going to get good separation, then you got to be able to make those contested catches. He struggled with that this year. And then finishing off here is 21, Gabriel Davis, Central Florida. This guy, honestly, his stock was instantly appeared after he destroyed Paulson Adebo in that Stanford game, and he came out, had a great year. I was really hoping he might stay, but he is here. He's here at 21. He is definitely, I think, kind of like a mid-day 3 pick. On to the rest, we got at 20, Brian Edwards out of South Carolina. He lacks speed. He can't really separate. How he does separate, because he does have one of the largest yards of separation, I guess the average for that in the SEC, is he's really good with his hands, especially at the line. honestly, his production this year got killed because of Jake Bentley, luckily. Or, I don't want to say luckily, or fortunately, but he got hurt. Now Jake Bentley's out of there at South Carolina. But, dude, yeah, bad quarterback play really tanked his production early in the year. John Hightower, a guy I really love. I think he honestly come back to Boise and become more of a day 2 pick. Right now he's kind of fringe day 2. He's got phenomenal speed. The dude's got wheels. He could fly by anybody. KJ Hamler here at Penn State. Drops, there a question? Not really. I mean, he drops the ball actually quite a bit, but I think he's the best slot in this draft. Trey Walker at San Jose State. He kind of has, and I call him Tyler Johnson drops, where he's a quality, great receiver, but is still a little raw in some aspects, while Tyler Johnson's actually a pretty complete receiver. But Tyler Johnson, people think he has a drop problem, but it's kind of like every 3, 4, 5 games, he'll have like a 3 drop game. And that's kind of the same here for Trey Walker. But Trey Walker gets on the ball a ton there at San Jose State. I remember his first game back, because he was injured at the beginning of the year, he had like 6 or 17 targets. So, I mean, yeah, something to work on. He can get better at. Devin Duvernay, another guy you're going to see at the Senior Bowl. I'm telling you, this thing's stacked. But he stepped in when injuries kind of mounted there for Texas at the receiver position. He's got great runaway and tackle breaking tackle ability, however you want to say that. But yeah, I think he's going to be a good run after the catch type of receiver. Jawan Jennings out of Tennessee. This is the guy I was talking about earlier. He's a broken tackle machine. He's elevated his stock so much. He wasn't even on my radar at the beginning of this year. And then Tylan Wallace, man, this hurts my heart. This hurts my soul. He's got a bit of a small route tree. He doesn't run too many different routes, you know. But his production's huge. He's a highlight reel, and it really the injury. I think he would be closer to in my top 10. He'd probably be in my top 10 if he didn't come down with the injury. And then Lynn Bowden Jr. This guy, I just got done watching the Virginia Tech Kentucky game. He balled out. He's a playmaker. He played extremely well in the slot the season before. It looked like he was going to get more work outside this year until quarterback injuries forced him to play quarterback there for Kentucky. So doesn't have a ton of experience on the outside, but it's just his playmaking ability makes him makes me want to put him this high. He could even go higher depending on how he grades out there at the combine. Devontae Smith, my question with him, because he's a home run threat. There's a lot to like about him as far as his speed. He's great after the catch, but that's about all he's got is the deep route, screens, and right after the catch. I need to see him run. I want to see him run more different, see more different routes ran by him, And then Antonio Gandy Golden, man, out of Liberty. This guy's got great size. He's dominated lesser competition, benefit of the doubt. But guess what? That's right. You'll see him at the Senior Bowl. Let's go to the top 10. Michael Pittman Jr., a guy I actually kind of think I should have put a little higher on this list. He's a good separator, because that was my question coming into this season was, because he's a bigger receiver at 6'4", 220, was, okay, will he be able to separate, or is he going to be one of these contested catch type of guys? But nah, man, this guy, he is a great separator, and you know what? He's also good at the contested catch. There's a lot to like about him. Brandon Ayuk, guess what? I think he's going to be at the Senior Bowl as well. Yeah, dude, this Senior Bowl is just, it's full of studs, man. And Pittman Jr. will be there. That's just ridiculous. So, a lot to watch for. This Senior Bowl is going to be bonkers, man. Tyler Johnson, man. I wish I want to put him a little higher on my list. I don't, because I love him. I'm a big mark for Tyler Johnson. He can play outside. He can play slot. He should be a good weapon in the red zone. He eats contact like, it's a Hershey's bar. But again, drops. I talked about it earlier in the video with the Tyler Johnson drops, where it's like, okay, occasionally he'll have this like 3 to 4 drop game, but then he'll be solid like the next 3 or 4 games. So, yeah. Justin Jefferson's guy I've moved up my list actually quite a bit. I mean, I don't want to say part of it was because of that Oklahoma game, but let's be honest, part of it was that Oklahoma game. It was a nice showcase. My question, basically for a majority of the year, was can he play outside? Because he's got good size. He's like 6'3", but he doesn't really get challenged in the slot at the line of scrimmage, opposed to the outside where you will typically have a cornerback right there in your face. What's your release going to look like? Are you going to be able to get off the line, you know? So those are questions, still questions, but I mean, the guy contested catches this year, just there was a butt ton in that Oklahoma game. He just honestly that game made his stock, and if he could ball out against Clemson, then man, I might move him into that tier with Higgins, Chenault Jr. and Ruggs. But let's talk about Jalen Reagor, a guy that's probably, I think he's going to fall in drafts. I think he is. This guy, he's going to be a speed demon, right? He is the king of separation. What killed him this year? Guess what? Quarterback play, man. TCU quarterbacks couldn't really throw the ball well, and it hurt his production. I was surprised to see him come out, but, you know, maybe he saw something like, oh, man, they're not going to get better at quarterback next year, so just spinning my wheels here. He's not a great contested catch type of guy. He's not really going to go up and moss somebody, but he will, I mean, with his separation, I don't think he'll have to. And then we got T. Higgins, a guy I want to put higher. Like the combination of size, speed, hands. And honestly, in any other draft class, he would be a top 10 pick. In this one, I mean, he'll probably be a top 30, top 25. But yeah, it just blows my mind. T. Higgins has been great all year. Henry Ruggs, probably one of the fastest guys in the draft, if not the fastest. Jalen Reagor is going to be challenging him with that. I mean, big question with him was his route running. And guess what? He improved a ton as a route runner this season. He's one of my favorite guys in this draft. I say a lot. I say that about a lot of guys. It is what it is. Then we got Laviska Shenault Jr. All I'm going to say, I forgot who made this comparison, but it's 100% correct. He is like Cordero Patterson mixed with Golden Tate. That's a beautiful comparison. It's 100% correct. And then we got basically 1A, 1B between Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb. Really, like, I could see why people would take Lamb over Jeudy, because I mean he's a little bit bigger. He plays a little bit bigger. He's probably, you know, I think I would say he's better after the catch. But Jerry Jeudy's such a smooth route runner. He's actually got pretty good speed. Phenomenal hands. He had probably one hiccup this year, that LSU game. He had a couple of drops, but that's not like him, so just one game. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to like. This is a great receiving class. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, go to the community tab, vote on what position group you want to see done next. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.